Are you in the market for a high quality, durable, lightweight, compact fixed blade knife? Then look no further than the Buck 102 Woodsman. You'll take it when you go fishing, when you go camping, when you go hunting, it'll be on your belt. It has a clip point blade manufactured out of 420 HC steel. The thickness of the blade stock is 0.12 inches, making this a slicing knife. It has an overall blade length of 4 inches and weighs in at just 2.6 ounces. The Buck 102 Woodsman is an excellent tool. Because it's lightweight, compact, and durable, you'll be more likely to take it along on your wilderness adventures. It's not a burden to take this knife along on a backpacking trip. Whether you find yourself spending time in desert regions hiking or camping, or you find yourself spending time in snowy, wet, cold, or rainy environments, you'll find the Buck 102 to be a useful companion. I like the fact that it has a stainless steel blade. That means if you find yourself in wet environments or processing fish and other wild game, you don't have to worry about the blade rusting.
So this is the Buck 102, the Buck Woodsman. One of the smaller offerings of Buck knife that Buck has produced over the years. So it's the 102. So this is, maybe it looks, you may be struggling to think about size here. I have small hands. This is the Buck 119, okay? Now this is an older kind of antique version of the 119. They've made some minor changes, but that's the one that you would see at Walmart and stuff. That's kind of the traditional. When people think buck knife, they think the 119. I think it's the 119 special, I think is what it's called. But this is small. Then we have the Buck 117 Brahma, okay, which has a slightly larger handle, a bigger blade, and this is, to me, this is actually a really nice size. But I like how all these knives are lightweight and compact. All these Buck knives are. Okay, they're in my mind, they're kind of space-age knives, even in 2023, 2024. These are space-age knives. They've got stainless steel blades, they've got polymer handles, aluminum fittings, they're lightweight, they're super rugged and durable. But I just want to come back here and talk a little bit more and show you the Buck 102 Woodsman. It's a very slicey knife, okay? Super slicey. And that has to do with blade geometry. It's got a hollow ground blade. So the blade is actually, a little bit is cut into the blade, so you can feel that hollow grind in. That makes it super, super slicey, okay? Just amazingly slicey. You're just able to pull through like that. Just amazing. You're able to choke up and do super fine work here, okay? Super fine work. So to me, this is a great knife. It's so lightweight, so compact. I've done my initial impressions review like 2, 3, maybe even 4 years ago, probably 3.5 years ago. I did my initial impressions review on this blade, and I've enjoyed carrying and using it since then. I really like the sheath that it comes with here. So it's a leather sheath, and lots of people are kind of negative about leather sheaths, but a well-designed leather sheath is actually extremely useful. It has a polymer liner in there that's going to help you not drive this blade bend down on the sheath and put it through your hand. So it stiffens the sheath, then also protects you because it's hard to get through that polymer lining. I really like that Buck has gone to the work to do that. The snap is very ergonomic. Once you snap it closed, it's easy to flip it off and draw the knife, and yet once you snap that closed, there's very little play for the knife to wiggle, move, and rattle. So it's just a great sheath, and Buck produces similar sheaths right now for all their knives that are similar to this one. An older style of Buck knife sheath was like this here that I have on that older Buck 119 that has this closed top. As a general rule, I prefer the current production version, although in certain situations out camping in the snow, ice fishing, I kind of like this because it protects the knife a little bit more. But what I really like about these modern Buck knife sheaths is that they ride higher on your belt. So a sheath like this one here, or like this sheath that's on this Knives of Alaska, I think camp knife, these have a lot more slap factor. So they ride on your belt, the knife is lower. It's further down on your leg, and it tends to kind of create a little pendulum as you're running and walking. It's not horrible, but there's more of what I call slap factor with both these sheaths. What I like about these modern Buck knife sheaths and particularly in this case with the 102 Woodsman, is it's so lightweight, you don't even really know you have it on it anyway, but the whole knife rides higher up, okay, on your belt, and I really like that with this design. And the Brahma, the 119 now come with sheaths like this one, and I like that because it rides higher up on your belt. And what that means is there's less slap factor because it's not swinging here from basically the handle. If it moves, it's kind of moving here. So there's less slap factor, and then it gets it higher up on your belt, higher up on your waist, so you're less likely to have bushes or branches and things strike it as you're walking through. So
I was showing some of my favorite buck knives to a buddy of mine, and he got really excited about these knives, particularly the Buck 117 and the sheathing system that comes on modern buck knives, the Buck 102, the Buck 117, the Buck 119 special. And I wanted to include his feelings and opinions on the sheathing system.
Right. Tell us how you feel about that.
Well, this is the only knife I like, and the reason is this right here.
Particularly the sheath
so
you
when
like.
you have it on you, you can just reach your hand over, you pull it, and the knife's in your hand.
And you didn't
so that you can do one-handed. You can one-handed remove the knife, trim, cut, whatever you want to do. One-handed, put the knife back in. One-handed, close the knife.
Yeah. So show them how that works.
You know how hard that is to do on a regular sheath knife?
Yeah.
I mean, and then the fact that this has a plastic insert to keep this from going through my left hand.
Well, what I also really like is that when you pop that and draw the knife again, it moves it out of the way. There are lots of things that you can maybe even pop one-handed, but then you're cutting it.
That, yes.
So the way that it flops open, that Buck knows how to do. Their sheath that they're making.
Somebody has pride. Now, and then for the artistic side of me, this turns me on. Black, silver, black, silver, black, silver, black. Somebody understood artistic dimensions right here, because this could have come clear to here. So somebody understood to cover half of the handle.
So not only is it functional, but it's beautiful.
This is beautiful. This is pleasing to the eye. I love that this is riveted right here. Most times this strap would just be flip-flopping on a regular sheath knife. Somebody knows what they're doing, somebody cares, and somebody is artistic.
And you really like the Buck 117.
I'm sorry, but
the Buck Brahma.
At this point, that's the only sheath knife that I'm interested in.
Look how tiny and lightweight this knife is. You still have a reasonably good length of blade, but this thing weighs in at under 3 ounces if you don't weigh the sheath. It is an amazing little tool to have on you, and I like that it has style. There are lots of knives in the $20, $30, $40 price range. I know this is closer to the $80 price range, but it has style and beauty to it. This is a knife that I've had for over 3 years, and a knife that I can wear and have on me all day when I'm hiking, camping, going even about town. I live in a place where it's not unusual to see somebody with a knife of this kind of size and shape and design on their belt, and nobody worries about that. So this is a knife that I can have on me, that I can use in my shop, that I can use to cut the ropes off hay bales, different things like that, and is just an excellent blade. It's super lightweight, compact, made in America by Americans that like America, and I just really am impressed with it, and I would definitely recommend it to you. I'm glad that I spent my hard-earned money on it. I don't know if this red kind of oxblood handle is in production anymore, but the Buck runs different kind of specialty colors and blade shapes, or not necessarily blade shapes, but blade steels. This is just their standard Buck stainless steel knife. It doesn't have the Boss heat treat. It's not one of their kind of super high-end knives. So this knife is going to cost you around $70, and I think it's definitely worth that. I really like it, and I've been extremely happy with the fact that I spent money on it about 3 years ago.
If you like this video, it's likely you'd enjoy my other knife reviews. I've got videos up on the Tops Bull Trout, an excellent small fixed blade knife. I also really have enjoyed using the Tops Mohawk Hunter. It's manufactured out of 1095 carbon steel, but it's a great blade as well. I've got a host of video reviews up on SE Knives products, the Gibson Carving Axe, the Azula 2, the SE3, and the JG3, just to name a few of the SE knives that I've reviewed. I've also got a whole bunch of knife reviews that will be released here in the next couple months. on knives from Knives of Alaska. These knives are out of D2 steel and are kind of specialized for processing wild game. If you like this video, you can support the Gear Tester YouTube channel by buying products from our sponsors, affiliates, and friends. Companies like Firebox Stoves, Excess Sights, Tops Knives, Occam Defense Solutions, and Knives of Alaska. I want to encourage you to go and purchase the Buck 102 Woodsman. And then I want you to go out and take that knife along as you do things like hunting and camping and hiking. Buy excellent products and then go out and use them. Thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. My goal here at the Gear Tester YouTube channel is to produce quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. I highly recommend the Buck 102 Woodsman to you. You won't regret purchasing it.